Hello YouTube, my name's Aiden. I'm here to talk about Slayers Volume 4, The Battle of Saillune. Saillune? This time I read it physically, not through audiobook, so might get some pronunciation wrong. Yeah, I'm talking about Slayers again. I did mention in the last Slayers video that while I was recording that one, I was almost finished Volume 4, and it is literally the day after I recorded that. I have finished Volume 4, and it was great. It was great. This time, since it's a single volume, I'll probably talk a little more in depth about things that happened, while the other one was more just a general overview of how I enjoyed Slayers as a series so far. So obviously there will be spoilers, but if you're wondering, hey, I read the first 3 volumes, is this like as good or better? The answer is yes. It's great. It does, just going into the plot, I did make this generalization about like the story structure, and it does follow what I said, which is kind of a critique or just an observation where it is, you know, it's Lina, Gowry, get into like a sort of high stakes quest, do a couple battles. The big bad at the end isn't actually the big bad we thought it was. It's a twist, and it's usually involving a demon. It does follow that exactly. But like I said last video, as long as it's good, you know, I'm a trying to think of a good example. I don't know, fried chicken enjoyer, you know. I can order, like, whenever I go to like Popeyes, you usually just order the same thing, just get a couple pieces of fried chicken. Even if it's the same, it's still good. That's what I feel about like the general story structure. And once again, even though I feel like the plot was like, it was closer to volume 2 where it wasn't that complicated, I actually didn't get the twist. That Alfred was the quote-unquote mastermind around the assassinations and not Christopher. I thought it was Amelia, and later Clawful, before it was announced. Which is a little embarrassing. I feel like, I don't know, I was reading too deep into it, and that happens, right? When there's a mystery and you're like, oh, it can't be the obvious answer. It has to be something else. But it was pretty simplistic. And obviously the demon was doing its own thing. But the difference between this and the other ones in terms of the whole demon thing is, this one sort of created this possible overarching narrative. Because in this one, it's revealed that the demons are semi-organized and they're actually targeting Lina. So this whole like battle for the throne that's going on, which is like the main plot point of Saillune, you know, the two brothers quarreling for the throne. Well, one is quarreling, the other one is rightfully gonna be the heir. But the demon plot, first off, is just detached from that, which is a first, and then it was revealed, hey, we don't like you, we're trying to kill you specifically, Lina. This is just kind of like an added bonus that you showed up here, and it kind of changed their plans of just, you know, helping, I don't know, Alfred get the throne, or Christopher, or whatever the end goal was, just to sow chaos, I guess, which is cool. It kind of like creates this narrative that, like, obviously we knew that Lina bumps into demons a lot, but it's always been coincidental. Like, for the first one, obviously, her bumping into the reincarnated Dark Lord Shabernictu, I think is how you say it, was crazy, but it was a coincidence. Same with number 2, it just happened to be a coincidence. And number 3, that one was more planned, but he wasn't even a real demon. It was like a hybrid demon with the homunculus Rezo, right? So now it's like, okay, so demons are coming after her. Though they did say at the end that they are traveling to like the dark country where demons are, so maybe they'll tackle that head on. But I like that. I like the sort of, it's not really episodic. I mean, you technically could read Slayer volumes out of order. They do reference other ones, and there are characters from other ones, but I think it's made for you to kind of pick it up wherever, kind of like Conan, though it is more structured than Conan. But I do like a nice overarching plot. I don't mind the episodic nature, and then they slowly work up to this big plot point that's been brewing. I feel like we've started that now. We've got a couple answers. It's not Dark Lord Shabernictu who's trying to kill her, or the pieces of him, or whatever Lina's theory was, which I thought was actually pretty good. It's something else, and I'm sure Well, I'm not sure, but I expect them to like slowly reveal that until I don't know some penultimate volume where they tackle it head on, and it should be epic. I'm just a sucker for that sort of thing, and it seems like a perfect thing to do in a light novel, where you release so many volumes, which made so many arcs compared to like a normal novel series. Like there are long novel series, but just the nature of like light novels that can I don't know go up to like the 20s or 30s in volumes. Like it just creates a lot more. What's it called? Like arcs, I guess. Like more potential for new stories, just from the sheer amount of volumes. But anyways, plot I liked it. Same structure, but it's got a lot of build up. But as I said before, let's talk about characters, which is one of my favorite parts of Slayers. Selfie was in this. Selfie? Is that her name? I mean, I'm on the wiki just in case I fuck up. Sylphio was in this for the beginning, but she was basically like sick the whole time, so she didn't do anything. I feel like maybe just crackpot theory, you know, let me just throw something out there. Maybe it's actually some foreshadowing, because she was like, I know she's like tired, and obviously probably under a lot of stress since, you know, that city she was in before Sayraid got fucking nuked basically, but oh, excuse my language. But yeah, I can understand that be mentally draining, but she seemed fine like during the actual like part she was in. But I don't know, she's having like trouble sleeping. Maybe it's some foreshadowing, I don't know. But Sophie was here, we didn't really see much of her. But we got a new ally, and it seems like she's actually going to follow us, so she's a permanent member of the party, or at least like it's not going to be like Lance, or I'm guessing Sophie, where you like they'll probably pop up occasionally, or Zelgadis or whatever, but she is actually going to be following them. So, and it is Amelia, who I don't know, she was introduced as this super cute, super positive person. I'm like, this is the perfect person to be secretly evil. But no, she's just a goofball, and I love it. She's overly dramatic. She's a big justice enjoyer. Does really cheesy speeches. One of my favorite scenes in this volume was when assassins were attacking them, and then she like gave a great monologue, like pointing at them, like doing like some justice pose, and her dad just like, get out of the way, because he was about to fight them, and just tosses her in the air, and she just like flips in the air and lands perfectly on her feet and still like maintains the pose. It was so good, man. I like characters like that. You do see those like those really like justice persons who are like, oh, all I care about is justice, and it's like it's a parody on like really classical superheroes. I like that though. I think it was fun. Obviously they did like a mirror with Alfred, who was like kind of melodramatic, like a melodramatic villain, so they kind of mirrored each other. But unlike Alfred, actually Alfred was a pretty like he was a lame villain. Obviously the whole point was on Kanzo the demon, like he was the real antagonist, but he did have some strong spells with the shadow beasts. But Amelia can't, even though she's goofy, she can back up her her talk. She's extremely durable, and I'm guessing strong like her father. And she did have some clutch spells. She had a great, like, I think it was like Lina described it as like the one of the ultimate astro spells. She came in clutch randomly at the end. That was sick. So I'm glad to see her. She's a very funny character. She might be my favorite side character, except for the main party. But technically she is joining the main party, so I don't know if I like her more than Gowry or Lina yet, but I am excited to see more of her. I think she could be a very fun addition. And we had some really like this whole like volume was just, it just made me feel bad for Lina, man. This is the most punishment I've ever seen Lina go through. Like, she's been through some rough stuff. She's lost a couple battles. In number 3, she almost died from like a backstab thing. But in this one, dude, she gets her throat crushed by Zuma. She gets both of her legs cut off by the giant beetle thing. She gets like tortured mid-battle by Kanzo in the final battle. Like, I've never seen Lina take so much punishment, and it's so fortunate that this is all taking place around, like, the big white magic city of the verse. Otherwise, she might just be dead, because they literally have, like, the best doctors and heal mages or whatever white magic's about. It's just your typical, like, heal or holy spells, I think. But yeah, they're lucky they have like the best, like some of the best white mages in the verse. Otherwise, she would have been cooked like multiple times. I felt bad for her, man, a lot of times. Speaking of Zuma was a cool villain. We didn't get like too much backstory of him, but the fact that he's alive and he's supposed to be like the best assassin, and Lina's the first person who was a target that hasn't died. I'm assuming we're gonna see him again. He was sick. He was like Lina he just hard counters Lina because he's too fast for her and just destroys her. And when Gary fought, you know, I was very confident in Gary, but Zuma's a beast, man. You wouldn't think an assassin can take like a swordsman just straight out, but they were fairly equal. Gary just barely edged it out, and you know, he is the master swordsman. Like, this was definitely way harder than the not Lance fight, whatever the other guy from Volume 2 is, the other master swordsman. But yeah, Zuma was a beast. Like, he would have killed Lina if Gary just wasn't there, so that was just lucky. And I'm excited to see more of him, and he's human too. Like, it's the first time where like I feel like Gary had like a real equal there. He did win. He like barely managed to win using some cheese tactics. It's not really cheese. Like, he's really good at the pebble thing where he blocked the fireball with a pebble and then like launched out his light sword at him and cut off his arm. That was sick. I do love some good melee fights because obviously most of the fights center on magic. So when it does happen, it was cool. But Zuma was cool. But Kanzo, man, that was so dominating. Like, when they revealed he was a mid-demon only, I was kind of in shock. I mean, obviously, we fought the Lord of all Demons, Shabernettu. And I'm guessing all the other demons were lesser demons. I mean, they probably mentioned that, but the gap between lesser and middle is crazy. Because this was this was definitely the hardest fight, minus obviously fighting Shabernettu. Because I was thinking during the final fight, like, oh, is this guy gonna be stronger than you know, Rezo Homunculus fused with like some random lesser demons? And the answer is yes. He destroyed them. Unlike the other final fights, well, not minus Shabernettu. Like, my favorite final fight was definitely Rezo Homunculus versus Gary, Lina, and his Elgatus. But this one was just domination. Like, there was no counter attacking at all. Like, even, you know, I had hope in Lina when she's like, oh, I think I can probably beat him. Just absolutely destroyed. Gary literally couldn't do anything. And the only reason they won was because he was classic Lina move. He was just underestimating his opponent. You know, he taint the, what's it called? Oh no, how do I not remember? Is it Dragon Slave? It is Dragon Slave, yeah. He tainted Dragon Slave point blank, which is crazy because obviously Dragon Slave is literally the strongest black. Well, we know Ditto Slave is stronger, but in like modern history, like throughout the whole world, for people who know magic, most people would consider like Dragon Slave the strongest spell. And he can taint, like, according to him, like 3 or 4 of them to the face, which is crazy. Like, because a Dragon Slave can definitely kill a demon, like a lesser demon, like outright. So just the gap is crazy. And obviously Shabernettu is just something else. But he's like the god of all demons. So I wasn't really, obviously the gap's huge. But yeah, it was just surprising how dominant the Kanzo fight was. Like, I really thought they had a chance, but it really was just because he thought she was just gonna do another desperate little Dragon Slave. She didn't expect the lights. Honestly, I forgot about the light sword attack. I forgot she used the light sword and combined Giga Slave to kill the Shabernettu piece. So I was like, I had no idea what she was gonna do when she said she wasn't gonna use the Ditto Slave, which was probably a good choice, considering, you know, Selfie's warning. So I'm glad she heeded it, but man, that fight was epic. It was more of a stomp and just like a lucky thing, but just again, just seeing Lina getting slowly tortured and Gowrie trying his best but not being able to like literally do anything was a hard read, man. It was good. Good stuff. But yeah, I mean, this episode had like a bunch of weird stuff, like all like Lina constantly like phasing into like a alternate dimension. I love the whole dining scene when her and Gary were eating food, and then the soup turned into like the octopus monster, and the like a little seaweed baby came out of the chicken. Like it was a very wacky episode, not episode, volume. Even with the giant beetle thing that cut off Lina's legs, like just some like high state strong creatures, and I liked it. I haven't even rated it yet. This might be up there for one of my favorites. I don't know. It's really hard to rate. Like volume 1 just had the cinema ending. The ending was so good. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna read this. This was amazing. Volume 2 was the darker one, the edgier one, even a little Lovecraftian with the body horror elements. Volume 3 had the best fight scene, I still think. It's the best homunculus Rezo versus everyone. This one had the weirdness, the Lina factor. Lina getting like just beat up, the weird monsters, the plot, the overarching plot with the demons now hunting Lina, targeting her specifically is very interesting. It's up there. I'd probably give it like around an 8 too. I think it's great. The series is great. Also, since it's the first time I read it physically instead of listening to the audiobooks, I could see the images, and they were pretty good. I think I mentioned that last episode. I did enjoy the images. I wish the wiki had them so I can like look over what were my favorites. Obviously, the final image with Gary like holding like Lina's like wound-ridden body during the Kanzo fight was really good. I really like the first image too, when they're sneaking in their like thief, like all black thief gear into the castle at first before you know what's happening. I do also appreciate, I don't know, like when I read Sword Art Online, when they show you a bunch of like images, and it kind of spoiled stuff because it was just like I just side images they couldn't fit into the book. And I'm like, okay. And then I read like online that like lots of light novels do that. Apparently Slayers, they're smart. They put all those extra images that can fit at the end of the book so they don't spoil you. Why don't other books do that? I don't know. Maybe they have it at the front to like hype you up for it, but I'd rather take the non-spoilers than hype any day. But yeah, that is my review of Slayers 4. The Battle of Saillune. Very fun, very good series. I love it. I'm so glad I just randomly chose this one. You know, I was just delving into the deep ocean that is light novels, where I know a bunch of them I probably wouldn't like, and I just chose Slayers for fun, and it was the right choice because it really does vibe with me. It's definitely one of my definitely would recommend for anyone who isn't into Slayers yet. But that's it for me. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for giving me your time. You know, if you read this volume or you have any thoughts on it, feel free to leave comments below, or like if I missed any aspects of the volume you want me to talk about, or even if you know, I don't know, you know, any good light novels, maybe something similar to Slayers, I would definitely look into it. And if you really like the content and you'd be interested in seeing more videos, then hit the subscribe button so you know when it happens. Because I don't really have a scheduled upload, because I don't have like well, I kind of do like have a schedule of when I'm gonna read, but like who knows when I'm gonna finish a book and get around to talking about it, right? So best way to keep track is to just subscribe. Was that a good pitch? I don't know. I don't know if I'm good at like shilling the channel. But yeah, anyways, I do appreciate And yeah, Slayers Volume 4, it's good. Keep it up, Slayers. I'm excited for the next one, which is apparently called The Silver Beast. Ooh, who is the Silver Beast? It doesn't sound like a demon, so I'll see next time whenever I get around to it. But yeah, later.